Starting the stream up. Off-season Central. Another live stream edition hosted by the boys at Post Game Live. CP from the KnicksFanTV. My man Jay Ellis from the Nick of Time show. If you're a diehard Knicks fan who loves to hear about Knicks news and rumors, make sure you hit that subscribe button below and the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Because today we got a special guest joining us, Jay Ellis.
Yeah, sure do.
If we don't get Kevin Durant in free agency, we got the Kevin Durant of Knicks media in the building. Ian Begley joining us today. Ian, how you doing tonight, man?
What's going on, guys? You guys are too kind. Very happy to be here with you, and exciting time for the NBA and for the Knicks, and we'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
Absolutely, man. This is the most important offseason in Knicks history, man. But Ian, I got to tell you something, man. Every day as the news hits, it seems like the Murphy's Law of Knicks offseason, man. What can go wrong is going wrong for the Knicks. The biggest topic this week was the Kevin Durant Achilles injury. We saw today that KD confirmed it was a ruptured Achilles and he did undergo surgery. Where do we go from here, man? What are the Knicks thinking in terms of pursuing KD this offseason, knowing what they know now?
Well, there are people in the organization that would be open to offering him a contract this summer, even though he probably will be out for the next 12 months or so. I think that it's going to be interesting to see how they proceed, because I don't think the Knicks are the only team that would be willing to offer Kevin a contract this summer despite the injury. And I think one of the things that I had heard as far as the Knicks go with this is some people over there think that if Kevin sits out the year, it's okay because it gives them time to continue to develop the young guys on the roster, and then you jump back into free agency in 2020. Maybe you have another top pick, and you become an even more attractive destination for free agents. It's certainly a risky proposition because, as we all know, how significant that injury is, and Kevin, I think, will be around 32 when he comes back.
Yeah.
But I think some people in the organization see that as an option moving forward for them.
Now, Ian, I know we all see what Kawhi is doing right now for these finals, and we see what KD is going through right now. So does that switch the Knicks' priority? Because I know before it was mentioned that Kawhi and KD were kind of neck and neck on the priority list. But does that switch the priority for the Knicks? Is Kawhi now higher on the
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, I think in a perfect world, if you had your choice of either guy, you would take the guy who wasn't coming off of ACL surgery. I think that's certainly the case. But I think as far as the Knicks go, like, they would be obviously thrilled to have Kawhi, but I think they'd also be thrilled to have Kevin because of the way they've positioned themselves this summer. They were hoping to get one, if not two max guys. So the idea that they would get either one, I think they would consider a big win. But obviously, if you had your choice of one or the other, you would take the guy that's healthy and not the guy that's coming off a major surgery.
And I mean, we just don't have a good history with guys coming off injury to signing the big contracts, man. That's just bad juju for us. But I do understand the approach of, potentially trying to get KD in here while you develop the young guys. Do they feel like he would be their primary target while still going after, a Kyrie or a Kawhi? Or do they see it as, let's go to KD and then spread the rest of the money around, for some more established vets that can kind of fortify the youth movement that we got going on?
I don't know specifically, but I think that, again, it goes back to kind of your priorities and kind of who you would love to have on your roster. I think that if they think they have a good shot at Kawhi, or if Kawhi says he's going to sign here, they don't look away from that just because they already have Kevin Durant signed to a contract. So I think it's just a matter of those top tier guys. If you get multiple top tier guys, you do it. You don't shy away from that just because you have one in house and you think getting veterans to surround them is a better idea. So yeah, we're talking about dream scenarios right now for the Knicks. I think probably best case scenario for them is to get one of those two
Right.
in the door, and then see what you can do with the rest of your money. And as far as Kyrie goes, I know he he had talked about the idea that he would have considered the Knicks in
Right.
free agency before he recommitted to Boston. And now obviously everything is open, but the teams that are monitoring his situation, the teams that are interested in signing him, are under the impression that the Nets are the odds-on favorite at the moment to land him if he decides to leave Boston. I think that's kind of where the Kyrie situation stands at the moment. Now, listen, here we are. We're sitting here Wednesday night. Free agency is not until the end of the month, so plenty of things can change.
Right.
Again, players can change their mind, teams can change their mind. That's where the Kyrie situation is at the moment, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned the Kyrie situation and in regards to him opting out of Boston, but now we're hearing that switching topics to the AD trade, we're hearing that Boston and LA have become the front runners for AD. Talk a little bit about that. I know you had mentioned that the Knicks were apprehensive of parting with some of their young assets in an AD trade. So where are they at? How motivated do you think they are now for Anthony Davis?
From what I had heard, they're plenty motivated. They would love to get a deal done, but I think there's a kind of a line in the sand that's been drawn, and there's an apprehension to giving up, what the Pelicans desire, and that would be multiple picks, multiple players, and maybe even the Knicks making a trade with another team to get a young star to then flip to New Orleans. So it's a big ask, and I know that some people over there, I can't speak for everybody, but I know that there are some people in the organization that say we don't want to give up, heaven and earth to trade for Anthony Davis, especially if he's going to be a free agent next year. And there are some people that are kind of apprehensive because of what happened with the Carmelo Anthony trade, where you gave up a lot to get Carmelo here, and for various reasons, a million different reasons, the Knicks didn't end up where they wanted to be during Carmelo's time here. And then I guess the thinking is now, well, man, imagine if we got Carmelo as a free agent, we didn't have to give up all that. Imagine what kind of place we would have been in had that scenario played itself out.
So, are there any sleeper free agents that are on the Knicks radar? Like, say we do kind of miss on these top free agents. I know Brooklyn, for example, they have Kyrie Irving there. They might not want D'Lo there with Kyrie. So he could be a possibility. Are there sleeper free agents like D'Lo who the Knicks have their eye on that could possibly be a Knick next season?
So I think that, and I don't know this, but this is kind of what Scott Perry and Steve Mills have talked about on the record is with free agency, like if they don't get their guys, they're not going to sign somebody just to sign somebody. So their top targets are everybody else's top targets. It's Kevin and it's Kawhi. And I think that if they don't get either of those two guys, it doesn't sound to me like they are desperate just to throw money around, just to do it, just to sign somebody. So, speaking about D'Angelo Russell or other free agents that will be in the market to secure these, 4-year deals with close to max money, I'm not sure if there's anybody that the Knicks are clamoring to sign to make that kind of commitment to. Now, I mean, listen, do they change course? And is there somebody out there that they say, hey, we can get this guy, let's bring him in? I think, yes, if it's a young player, they would be certainly open to that. But as far as signing like an established star that's on the other side of 30, I just think if it's not Kevin or if it's not Kawhi, they're not jumping out of their skin to get somebody like that in here.
Hey, sounds good to me, man, because you know what, Ian, I think a large majority of the fan base, whether or not we sign these two max contracts, they want to stick with the youth build. And I think that's why a lot of our fan base, they were against the AD trade, especially now you're hearing Rich Paul come out, in the Sports Illustrated interview stating that regardless of where he ends up, he's going to head into 2020 free agency. Not sure if that's a smokescreen, to stay, with LA or the Knicks and not stay in Boston, but it's too much of a gamble. And I think the fan base, they're excited about RJ Barrett, the prospects of RJ Barrett. They're excited about Mitch, and they want to continue with the youth rebuild.
So I think, the interesting thing with Anthony Davis is I was told that he would strongly consider signing here, re-signing here, however you want to term it, if the Knicks did trade for him. So that's the one risk with kind of not doing that Anthony Davis deal, letting him go to, let's say, a Los Angeles or a Boston.
Yeah.
Then he's in that building for a year. They have a chance to sell him on their program for a year. And if that goes well, if they win, they put themselves at probably the top of the list to re-sign him. And that's kind of if the Knicks would be interested in signing Anthony Davis, as a free agent in 2020, obviously they would be. The risk there is kind of them falling off of near the top of his list because he's at another place and he's comfortable at another place. But as far as building through the youth, I think that, listen, that's a sound strategy, but I think that they're, coming into this summer, the thinking was the Knicks had opened up enough cap space for 2 max contracts based on that Porzingis trade and based on stretching Joakim Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were all in on this summer. And then obviously the Durant injury kind of changed the calculus. So I think in a general sense, yes, youth movement makes a lot of sense, but let's not forget that they were in on free agency for this summer for a long time.
Real quick before we get to the draft, people in the chat are stating that Kyrie has fired his agent and is signed up with Rich Paul and Clutch. Are you hearing that?
I did not report that. I saw the same thing about him firing his longtime agent, and I hadn't heard that about Rich Paul. I think Woj just reported that Kyrie is signed with Rock Nation, which is not obviously LeBron's agency.
Yeah.
And and so I mean that's interesting, especially because they're based in New York, and a lot of people think Kyrie is going to sign with the Nets. So there's a little bit of a synergy there as well.
Smoke there, man.
A
lot of Nets smoke, Jay-Z smoke.
Yeah, man. My God, Jay.
Terrible, man.
Damn it, betrayed us. All right.
Terrible. All right. I know we got a couple minutes, man. Shifting gears to the draft.
Yes.
How did the Knicks react to RJ's workout on Monday?
So based on what I heard, I don't think it was when you're in an individual workout, it's not like this strenuous thing where you're not scrimmaging, you're not so I think that they liked what they saw, and I think that based on what I heard, that the conversations between RJ and the meetings with team officials, Fizdale, Nils Perry, they all went well. So I didn't hear of anything that happened that would dissuade New York from choosing RJ at 3 if he's there. We assume he will be there. The Knicks are going to have a meeting with John Morant before the draft. So we think that Memphis is going to take Morant. He's not going to be there on the board, but that tells you that the Knicks, at the very least, like Morant a lot and wanted to bring him up here to meet him in person, just in case he does slide to 3. But it seems like RJ is going to be there at 3, and he will be the Knicks pick.
He will be the guy.
All right. So, let's slide back into the youth movement conversation. Frank has been away for a long time. He's kind of been working out secluded in France for a long time. I'm not sure if that's any indication of whether he's kind of still locked in with the Knicks or not. Do you get a feeling that the Knicks are prioritizing moving Frank sometime this offseason, or are they just kind of taking a wait and see approach?
I think it's kind of always been this case with Frank, and I think most of the roster, it's been if a deal comes up that makes sense for them, they're going to do it. I don't think anybody is necessarily off limits. And I think that's been the case going back to the trade deadline with Frank. If there was an offer presented to the Knicks that they liked, I think they would have made that move. So, but you can say that about really anybody on the roster. But I think as far as the prioritizing Frank and kind of where he is on the totem pole, I think because of the kind of him not like getting a ton of minutes last year and him not being a Scott Perry draft pick, I think that makes it more likely that he gets moved if that offer comes along than, let's say, somebody that Perry knows drafted, like a Kevin Knox. I think that's kind of how you look at it. But again, I don't think it's like the Knicks are sitting there saying, well, on draft night, we're definitely going to move Frank Ntilikina.
Right.
I think it's a matter of what they can get back, and if they like that return, if they do, I think they'll pull the trigger.
Right. Ian, how about ISO Zoe? Another decision that has to be made on draft night, June 20th, is whether or not they're going to pick up that team option. There was talk in terms of how they structure the cap in their pursuit of two max free agents in conjunction with having a number 3 pick, that a roster spot could come down between Frank and ISO. Where do you see them going in terms of picking up that team option next Thursday?
I think that depends on what they hear about free agency going into Thursday. Like if they think that based on the math, they can get 2 max guys, and then I think in that instance, if it meant that they would either not pick up the option, but then re-sign Alonzo to a different contract, then that's the way they would go. But if they felt like they didn't have a good shot and they didn't need that kind of space, I think that they pick up the option, because I think the idea also was to have Alonzo as potential somebody you could trade, including an AD deal. But I would think that a deal gets done before June 20th, so that wouldn't be something that they would have to consider. So I think the consideration there is more of a math issue with do they need that cap space? Will they not need that cap space? So I think it'll depend on what they learn between now and Thursday. I don't think there's been a decision made yet.
Okay, cool. So you know what? Let's go back to the draft for a second. There were rumors that the Knicks were considering trading down, and I know they just met RJ. How likely do you see that happening? I know trading down can actually probably help the Knicks with cap flexibility. Do you feel like there's somebody there that they feel is comparable to RJ that can trade down for, probably at 5?
I haven't heard anything significant recently. I mean, I know that people there are big fans of Jarrett Culver from Texas Tech, and I know that there are some people with the Knicks that are fans of Cam Reddish, and we think both of those guys go later than 3. So, I think those would be 2 guys who they would clearly look at if they did decide to trade down. And I haven't heard of any significant talks. Not to say that doesn't mean they're happening. They very well could be. I just haven't heard of any. But I say that to say that there are guys that we think go outside of the top 3 that some people in the organization are fans of or high on. So I wouldn't be surprised if those any kind of deal to trade down would be under consideration. But I haven't heard anything concrete enough to report.
Okay. Ian, how you looking on time? You got a cut, or do we have time for one more question?
Yeah, I think I should jump because I have this other thing to do.
Okay. No, hey, man, we definitely appreciate the time, man, and certainly you coming by and dropping some insights on the show, man. Thanks again. Ian Begley of SNY, we definitely appreciate it. Thanks again for giving us some time, man.
Huge, man.
My pleasure, fellas. My pleasure. Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Absolutely.
All right, take care.
Man. That was Ian Begley with SNY, Jay Ellis.
Bruh,
it's good stuff, man.
That happened just now.
That's good stuff, man.
That happened just now, CP.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. That was a good segment right there, man. We definitely appreciate him for dropping by. Let me get you back into view here. Shout out to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for Ian Begley. That was a major move right there, JLs. We did that.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that.
Just dropping by. You know what I'm saying? Just dropping by.
Casually have Ian Begley on the show.
Props to Ian Begley. You know what I mean? Just casually have Ian Begley on the line. Shout out to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Definitely appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys are new to the chat, give us a hashtag new, man. This is what we do. We talk about Knicks news, Knicks rumors during the offseason, and during the season we go live after every game. Get your opinions, give you our takeaways, get your takeaways, and this is the community that we're here building. Let's go to the phones, JL. Obviously, with limited time, we didn't have much time to go to the phone, so with Ian, but let's hear from some guys. Ari, you're up first. Wants to talk about the offseason. Ari, how you feeling, man?
Hey, I'm feeling good. I joined a little bit late. Sorry about that, but I heard most of what he said.
Mm-hmm.
listen. So this is where I'm at. So first of all, I'm off suicide watch. I'm feeling a little bit better today.
You back? You back with us, man?
I'm back with you guys a little bit. I'm back.
Okay.
I don't think it's whatever. I'm not even gonna go there. But listen, in a perfect world, what I'm hoping for is that the Celtics are dumb enough to actually trade for Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And then he opts out next year, and we don't have to give up the farm for him.
Yeah.
That's a perfect world. You know, I'm writing. I don't know if you guys. I told CP, but and JL. So I'm writing an article. I actually just finished it, so I don't want to go too much into what I just did, what I just wrote. But you know, I feel like people often decide, like, okay, like, are we going to go with the youth or are we going to go with the free agency route, right? And, you know, a lot of people think the free agency route is like the get-rich-quick scheme. And a lot of people think the youth movement is like the safer but longer-term investment or whatever it is, right? Now, the way I think about it is I don't see why we can't do both. Like, I just don't see why we can't do both, right? And I agree with Ian Begley. Like, when it comes to max free agents, you either go for Kawhi Leonard, obviously, or Kevin Durant at 75% because he's never going to be 100% ever again. And the question now becomes, is 75% of the best player in the world still worth a max contract? And in my opinion, he is. You know, he may not be first team All-NBA, but he's going to still be third team All-NBA, let's say. You know, Giannis, LeBron may jump him again, you know, Kawhi, but he's still going to be a real, like, I still have hope for him to be like a really good player, just not the Kevin, like, we as Knicks fans just cannot expect to see Kevin Durant, like, you know, in his prime necessarily, but we should still be able to expect a max level player out of Kevin Durant, like a real max, not like a Tobias Harris max, right? So what I think we should do is if we get Kawhi, great. If we get Kevin Durant, all right, great. If we don't get either one of those, then I don't see the purpose in signing a Kyrie Irving or a Kemba Walker, Klay Thompson, the second tier of guys. Then, you know, what you do is, in my opinion, what I alluded to last time, you know, you take on a bad contract the way, you know, Atlanta took on Allen Crabbe and they got 2 first-round picks out of it. You know, you add it to the stable of assets, and then you re-up in 2 years once that contract expires, and then, you know, and then you start all over again. You know, like I said, you know, we had hopes for next year being a big year for us. That all went down the drain once Kevin Durant snapped his Achilles. But, you know, it's not the end of the world because we do have the flexibility of all these draft assets. Imagine we never traded Kristaps Porzingis, right? And then we had to decide whether we wanted to throw max money at a 7'3" guy coming off an ACL injury, and we didn't have the Dallas picks and we didn't have Dennis Smith Jr. You know what I mean? And that would be much worse. But thank God we did that trade, and it was a good trade. And, you know, we have the flexibility that, you know, we could continue to build from there. What I'm basically trying to say is that, you know, don't trade for Anthony Davis, obviously, number one. Don't sign any max free agents unless it's Kevin Durant or 75% of Kevin Durant, which is what's going to happen, I think, and Kawhi Leonard. And regardless of which, you keep the draft assets and try to continue building, because then you diversify your risk. And I go into that
spread it out.
I'm writing, but then you spread it out. If Kevin Durant comes back and he isn't Kevin Durant, let's say he's not 75%, he's 35%. It's not the end of the world because you have R.J. Barrett, you have Mitchell Robinson, you have the Dallas picks, and for all you know, Dallas could be in the lottery, and then it's a top 4 pick, and then boom, you get another game changer, right? So definitely don't trade the asset. That's a hedge against free agency. You have to do a little bit of both. Don't put all your eggs in free agency, and don't put it all in the youth movement, because, like, you know, there's also problems with the youth movement. We drafted Frederick Weiss. We drafted Ronaldo Bachman. We drafted, you know, Jordan Hill. You can't put all your eggs in that basket either. So you have to do a little bit of both, and that's where I'm at.
Ari with the voice of reason once again, man. Appreciate the call, Ari. Definitely appreciate it. I mean, listen, I'm still on the fence with the KD thing, I'll be honest. I just feel like it's a crazy risk with him being 32 years old, you know, with the ruptured Achilles. We just don't have that good, you know, energy when it comes to that. You know, it becomes same old Knicks when the guy comes here and he re-injures himself or is 50% of what he was, you know. But I hear what Ari's saying, JL. Spread the risk around. I'm damn sure glad that we are not trading for Anthony Davis. I'll tell y'all that right now. I've been saying it. Like he said, JL's though, best case scenario is probably if he goes to Boston.
That is the best case scenario. I'm rooting for Boston right now. To be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
I want them to get AD. And you know what too? Like I would say
Let me fix your
this.
screen up. Go ahead.
Okay, I would say this.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would be open to signing Kemba, and then have. I
Why
think
is that?
because if you look at the free, you know what? You need guards in this league who can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And I love DSJ, and there's a possibility he can be good, and he can learn to shoot too. But I'm not exactly sure. But I know Kemba. I know what he can do.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if you look at the 2020 free agent list, is crap.
Cupboard is bare.
It's AD and the Pips, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Basically.
It's pretty much AD and the Pips.
Yeah.
So if we use one max on Kemba and still keep our flexibility with the cap with signing like short-term deals with free agents,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe we can still try to collect draft picks and then trade those picks and trade for a star later on down the road to match with Kemba, or try to sign AD, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not immediate, but it gets one person in place that kind of gives us a little bit of stability, and then see if we can kind of keep building the next season depending on our assets and our picks.
Okay. I see a lot of people in the chat are steadfastly against this. King Ellis in the chat, I don't know if y'all are related, but he's killing you in the chat right now, Jails. He's steadfast against Kemba. He's steadfast against Kemba, man.
That's fine.
I think
Kemba brought his team to the playoffs without LeBron, unlike Kyrie. I'm just saying.
I think Kemba by himself. I love Kemba, man, but Kemba by himself. See, the thing is we got to figure out who's going to be the point guard. Is DSJ going to develop into the point guard of the future, or are we going to have to go back into the draft in future years and get him? You know.
Yeah, it's a risk. You don't.
It's a risk. Everything
is like, listen, all the young pieces are just stock. You don't know if they're gonna go high or low. It's all a gamble with every young piece we have in the cupboard right now. Now, like I have faith in Mitch. I have faith in Trier, and I have faith in Dotson that they can become NBA rotational players. And I think DSJ could be something solid as well. But will DSJ be like a lead guard eventually? Who knows? I don't know.
That's the question. That is the question, man. Let's go. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. Finish it.
I was gonna say, and the point guard to me is like one of the most important,
critical
pieces in that, for a team to me to get the engine to run, especially point guards you can shoot, especially in today's NBA.
Critical, man.
Yeah,
it's critical. Let's go back to the phones, but first and foremost, shout out to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Mike Oliva, I see you. What's going on? Ricky King, what's going on, man? King Ellis, how's everything? Yao Song, Ernesto Locksmain, what's going on? Above the rim in here, how's everything going? JL, who you got in your chats?
I got what's going on? I got the Goonies over here. What's going on, the Goonies? Wilson, I see you. Wilson Aracena.
Okay.
Coach Hayes Carter, Cody Emmanuel, Yao Song, Sammy Soso. We got the whole fire department with me.
We got the sirens going in. That's good luck. Yeah. Every time you hear the sirens, it's good luck. It adds another 5 years to your life.
Word. Sir One, Yao Song. What's going on, man?
Shells, what's going on, Shells? I see you, man. All right, let's go back to the phones. We haven't heard from our guy Julian since like the last game of the season, man. He just he only wants to talk regular season, man. Julian, what's happening, bro?
I've been in LeBron playoff mode. I haven't been talking to anybody much. Nah, but what I wanted to get to today was, one, this whole point guard situation. Two, Kyrie signing with Rock Nation, and that's basically what I wanted to get to. So now since I know Jay Ellis was just talking about how he maybe might want Kemba, or Monial might want Kemba on the team next year. I don't think that's the way to go. I think, especially me being the Knicks fan that I am, Greg Anthony's kid,
Cole Anthony. Yep.
He's going to North Carolina next year. Next year, and he's supposed to be one of the best guards in next year's draft class. Say DSJ isn't, our lead guard of the future. We could always just be bad next year and get him. Or this kid, RJ Hampton, who's going to play overseas in Australia.
That's not a guarantee.
There's all sorts of options.
Yeah, clearly the way
Zion this year,
the way the lottery's going, that's damn sure not a guarantee. I think it serves us better to be competitive as can be, and if we miss the playoffs, we'll be all right.
We're gonna be competitive. I think Perry and Mills aren't gonna do the same sort of thing that we did last year. I think we'll probably sign guys of Julius Randle's caliber to 1+1s with team options, and give them say for example, give Julius Randle 2 years for $40 million, but the second year is a team option. So he can come here, he can get his numbers up, he can get a paycheck from another team for a long-term deal, and we can get some numbers out of him, and maybe we can get to 30, 35 wins next year.
Okay.
So, because you want to be in that 6 to 10 spot.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we see in the lottery this year that it certainly would help. It certainly would help, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're mid-tier anymore, man. You could be that middle team in the playoffs, or just missing it and still win the lottery.
Yeah, you got to be in that 14. You still got to be in that 14.
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate the call, Julian. Good to hear from you again, bro.
You think Randall will take a 2-year deal at his age with his
Well, it all depends on what the market is. I think right now it's too early to tell what the market is for a lot of guys. You know what I mean? But yeah, go ahead.
No, I would love Randall for 2 years. I feel like 2-year deals are more more for vets and not like that.
Yeah.
That youngish.
Right. That's for guys rehabbing from injury, get a 1 to 2 year deal, or much older vets. But you never know if a market dry up for a player, or you might have to slightly overpay for him. But if you have time on your side, I don't know, maybe you go that route.
Yeah, man. Unless Fizz really starts to talk for real about expanding your game and not do this for you and that for you. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Like they did to Mario.
Facts. So yeah, Woj confirmed Kyrie is expected to partner with Rock Nation Sports.
Yeah. Rock Nation Sports. I think Cody was.
Yeah, I'm confirmed. Woj. I'm pulling up Woj's tweet right now, so that's confirmed.
Okay.
Kyrie partners with Hov and them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Boston star Kyrie expected to partner Rock
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. We'll keep
tabs.
on.
Kyrie fired his longtime agent Jeff Welshler. Interesting.
Why my subscribe thing looks so big? Shout out to Jay So for subscribing. Not sure why that came out ginormous, but that's what happens sometimes. Okay. All right, let's go to Brooklyn. Speaking of Rock Nation, let's go to Jay from Brooklyn. Wants to talk about the KD news and the offseason plans. Jay, how you feeling?
What's going on, brothers? I'm doing good. Can't complain, man.
All right.
Yeah, I really don't even know what to do now. It's sad that KD is injured. It's very unfortunate, but business is business, man, and I feel like we should move on from KD. Everybody should just, go with the youth movement and, draft a guy that's good. And if not, I don't know what else to do, man. I'm just like, wow, it happens again. The Knicks always just
Murphy's Law, man.
Something crazy happens all the time, man. What do you do, man? What do you do?
Facts. It's a gamble, man.
I'm really trying to look and see who's maybe available. What do you think about Brad Bill? You think the Knicks could probably get him for, 2 future picks and maybe a young piece? Something. I don't know what to do, man. I don't
Jay, my guy's at a loss right now, JLs. What do we tell this guy right now?
We gotta get something. We gotta get something, man. We gotta come out with something this season, man.
Yeah.
We can't just. This youth movement is cool, but we need something to upstart it. You feel me? We got to have one piece at least, to get these guys up.
I feel you, man.
That's all.
Bradley Beal's gonna cost though, JLs.
Yeah, that's why I said Kemba. You don't have to give no assets up. But
Bradley Beal's gonna cost. You're gonna have to give up. I mean, I think he's scheduled to make
Yeah.
like 30 something this year.
and he's gonna take a few He's gonna take a few first round picks to get.
Facts. It's gonna cost. It'll be less than AD probably, but it's gonna cost. Definitely gonna cost. Salute to Jay from Brooklyn on that one. Let's go uptown. Noah from Harlem says he wants no part of KD, man. Noah, what's going on? How you feeling, bro?
Yo, what's going on, y'all? How y'all been?
You good? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Hell no. Nah, not at all. It comes to a point where you gotta listen to the signs, man. Like, what more we need? How many more signs we gonna take until we looking like a damn begging dog out here, man? It's not meant to happen, especially with this happening. Even if KD came back healthy, it won't be for us, and I'll guarantee that. If he went to any other team, he might come back healthy. The fact that it's the Knicks,
We don't have that good luck, man.
He's
We
not
don't have
gonna
that
be
type of
healthy,
luck, man.
That's
I'm
that
telling you, it's something people be thinking we playing with this bad luck thing, man. CP, it's for years we've said it, and then people take it as a joke. Some people take it serious. But if this ain't pure, just right in front of your face, it was like the Ewan thing. When they announced that Ewan was going to do the draft, I flipped my lid. I'm like, how are you going to get Ewan, the one person that has the biggest draft conspiracy in NBA history, to do the draft where we need Zion? It's not going to happen. It's not. So we want KD. All of the news is saying that KD going to be here. He's moving his business. He's doing this. He's buying a house. Everything coming to New York, New York, New York. He get this damn little injury. That was the first one. Then he come back to prove something. He didn't tear his Achilles, bro. He ruptured his whole Achilles. And we sitting here like, nah, we gonna... Yo, it drives me crazy. People was okay with the KP trade because they didn't want to give him a big contract because they didn't know how he was going to be
that
after
is one
knee
thing.
surgery.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking
everybody
about
is
that.
going crazy like, no, y'all would be stupid if you don't get KD.
I was thinking
If we
about that,
were-
man, and no, appreciate the call, man. We just got a lot of calls, so we're trying to run through it. I was thinking about that too, JL. It's like, how many of the people who were glad we didn't keep KP because of the injury concerns were the same people that would welcome Kevin Durant?
Well, I wasn't one of them. I was saying that KP could come back and he's young, and I feel like he'd be back strong. But he was just more of a snake, so I was like, I got over it real quick.
Nah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah, I mean, listen. I think Noah has a good point on it. We just don't have between Amari, Allen Houston, Glenn Rice. I mean, Glenn Rice was pretty much washed by the time he came here. But even still, they try to build like a little bootleg big three with Houston, Sprewell, and Glenn Rice. That was a failure.
Yeah.
I mean, on and on and on down the road. Melo.
Yeah.
When Melo sprained that patella or PCL or something, I don't think he was ever the same after that.
You mean he was the when he was like jogging backwards and tripped over the ref or something?
It was the 1 year where he was supposed to have surgery on his knee and he postponed it because he wanted to be in the All-Star game at MSG. And he had that knee surgery, and after that, he was never really the same.
Yeah, man, you're right. We don't really have. No, I hate doing that, yo. I hate going back to the Knicks always have bad luck. I'm an energy guy. I don't like putting all that energy out there. I don't believe in luck. I believe in making your own destiny.
Yeah.
And if we prepare and we make the right moves, then we will get the luck, which is just, to me, basketball intelligence.
Right.
And things will turn out right for us eventually. So
Right.
I don't believe in that bad luck.
And King Ellis in the chat says, well, none of those guys is the top two player in the league. But I mean, does talent really matter about when it comes to your body? I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just putting it out there. Does his status in the league have anything to do with he's a 7-footer who already had a major foot surgery and now has another major lower leg injury in terms of the
I don't know.
Achilles.
It depends on.
Does it matter?
It depends on your view. Did you listen to the Alan Hahn show? Alan Hahn.
I didn't hear it.
Alan Hahn. He believes that he will be one of those Dominique Wilkins cases because Kevin Durant is that special kind of crazy who worked so hard to get back. He worked so hard to get to that top spot that he believes that will translate into him working back from that injury. So he's one of those guys who fully believes the Knicks should go all in on Kevin Durant because he believes Kevin Durant will absolutely come back and kill it. So
yeah,
that's another perspective.
It's iffy, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat once again. If you guys were here for Ian Begley was here with us, dropped some gems on us. Was able to give us a couple minutes of his time. You know, it's a busy off season, so obviously he couldn't, be here in the whole lot of time of the stream. But we definitely appreciate Ian giving us 15, 20 minutes to talk about the Knicks off season, man.
Mm-hmm.
Gregory W, what's going on? G. Andrezzi, what's going on? John Talento, what's going on? TM in the chat. Salute to TM. Frank Matos. Anthony Parasol, what's going on? The Dr. Carpy, how's everything, man? Hit that thumbs up button for your boys, definitely. Let's go back to the phones. Let's take a couple more calls. Kyrie from Uptown, he says he's for signing KD, but not Kyrie. Kyrie, what's going on?
Yeah. What's going on, man? I just wanted to touch on the Kevin Durant thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would go all out with Kevin Durant, and but under one condition, I don't want Kyrie Irving because after seeing what he did with the Boston Celtics, the team got worse. Like he's a coach. I think he's a coach killer, a chemistry killer. Like I just don't trust him as a leader. And with all these young and up and coming players that we have, I wouldn't. If Kevin Durant means Kyrie Irving in the package deal, then Kevin Durant he could go to Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
I would at that point I would just change game plans.
Yeah, that I don't.
Kawhi Leonard.
I would take him as a package deal here. I wouldn't ship him to Brooklyn.
I mean, I just don't like Kyrie Irving. I just don't trust him. I just don't trust him as a locker room guy. Like I just don't think he would. He just seemed like a selfish player to me. That's just me. And I would go either R.J. Barrett or I would try to trade back. And the other guy in the draft I'm sold on is Kevin Porter from USC.
Okay.
Kevin Porter Jr. I think he's going to be possibly the steal of the draft.
Okay. Yeah, some people do, man. Appreciate the call, Kyrie. And we're going to be doing our draft episode week from tonight. Next Wednesday, Schwinny from Posting and Toasting is going to join us. We're going to talk R.J. Barry. We're going to talk Culver. We're going to talk DeAndre Hunter, all of that. I know, JLS, you had him on your show last week or the week before that.
Yeah, all the explicitives, and he's definitely Team Culver.
Yeah.
So this should be a fun chat.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. So that'll be next week, I believe 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be going into our draft, do our mock drafts, and head into the draft. If anybody's going to be at the draft next Thursday, we will be there. Me, Jay Ellis, KnicksFanTV, Dave, the whole family will be there. We'll be live streaming, and during pregame, we'll be live streaming inside the draft. And then afterwards, we'll be headed over to Slattery's Pub, Midtown NYC, where we had the draft lottery party. We'll be there with the rest of the gang, Posting and Toasting, Knicks Film School, Locked on Knicks, those guys. And hanging out with them.
Yo, CP, I wanted to ask Ian about Garland so bad, but I thought it was not my place.
Oh yeah, you should have. You should have, man.
At the end, when he's talking about the other, he's like, I know they like Culver. I know they like.
He said Reddish. He said they like Reddish too.
He said Reddish and Culver. I was like,
yeah.
Garland? Did they like Garland?
She should have asked him, man. You should have asked him. All right, let's take. We got about 10 minutes more. Let's take a couple more calls. Let's go to Brick City, man. Justin from Newark. He wants to talk about the off season and not signing KD. Justin, what's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on, CP? Big fan of the show. First time caller.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, both you guys, you do great work, man.
Thank you.
Talking about Knicks, some real talk. Unlike that ESPN. FS1, all that other crap, man, in the media, just nonsense. So, for real, But anyway, I just want to touch on what a previous caller said, Ari, who made some really good points.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about doing, going after perhaps KD, Kawhi, making the push, the pitch for, those big-time free agents, and staying with the youth movement at the same time. Now, a different idea could be if you don't get Kawhi, if you don't get Kevin Durant, why not go after some free agents that also fit the timeline of the youth movement, like Julius Randle, or maybe D'Angelo. If the Nets don't want to keep him, they prefer Kawhi. Maybe bring him over to the Garden, or even perhaps getting involved and seeing how much Washington wants for Bradley Beal. I mean, that you figure that's a pretty decent offseason if you bring in two of those guys, or even all three, to pair with whoever's left, out of your assets. I don't know what you think about that.
Good,
I think it all depends on the flexibility. Like I said, especially for D'Lo, somebody like D'Lo, I think he's looking for a bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think D'Lo is gonna come into this offseason like a 1-2 year deal, pay cut type situation. Especially considering he's from Brooklyn and it's like this weird Brooklyn Knicks kind of rivalry. Like I don't think there's gonna be some like, yeah, we'll give you a deal and just. I don't see that happening. Randall as well. I mean, I would love Randall here for a 1 to 2 year deal, but like I said, that same kind of thinking. I'm not sure if these youthful guys will take a cut in years to play with us. I mean, I could be wrong because it happened with Mario Hezonja. Like he took a Fizz got to him, Scott Perry got to him, and I'm thinking maybe that might have worked with Mario because Scott Perry was the one who drafted him in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that had some kind of bearing on him, establishing that rapport and taking that cut. But I'm not sure. Like, I would like that to happen. That would be dope if you can keep the flexibility and keep somebody with the youth movement too. But I also wouldn't mind having who can help teach somebody something new and the ins and outs of an NBA offense and defense and have us win more than 17 games, maybe more.
Yeah.
Close to 30, 40,
I think we talked about Randall. I wouldn't mind Randall. Beal is going to cost you still. And, I mean, if you're talking about drafting R.J. Barrett, you're going to have to put him in that deal.
True, but not as much as certainly trading for AD.
Yeah.
AD is going to cost you, or at this point, from all the rumors, might cost you 4 or 5 assets. Maybe with Beal, it only cost you maybe 2 assets, depending on who they like.
I think salary wise, you would still have to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tossing that $7.5 million of Lance Thomas.
Appreciate the call, Justin, man. He said toss in Lance. I mean, hey, pause on that, but yeah, I hear you. Okay, who else we got here? Let's go to Jamal from Jersey. Why don't you talk about the KD situation? Jamal, how you feeling?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
I just want to say with KD going down, I'm definitely with the youth movement now, and I wasn't the other day. I don't want to trade for AD or none of that. My only concern is that if the deal was intact, like they say, basically all year and behind the scenes, everything was signed, sealed, delivered, and we were supposed to get this guy, you can't just ignore this guy cold turkey. You got to hope that he figure Golden State think more about stability and Golden State feel bad and going to offer him the max and he want to stay or come back for 1 year and play playoff basketball with Golden State, because if you just leave this guy cold turkey because he got injured and everybody's rallying around this guy, this stuff resonates with whoever his representation is. His representation got other clients. And this is the kind of way that LeBron and them rule the league with iron fist of who go there, who go here, and who go there. You just can't turn your back. If it was signed, sealed, and delivered for a year, like they say. They say he had 9-figure deals in place that's gone out the window now because he won't be playing next year. So I just want people to be able to pull back the curtains a little bit and realize that, like, agents and shoe companies kind of run these these things behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah, it's
we
fair.
gotta hope that KD's mindset changing, and now he's just thinking, "I'm gonna just stay home now," meaning Golden State.
Okay. Appreciate the call, man. Definitely appreciate the calls. It's a fair point. It's a fair point, JLs. I forgot who on Twitter. I think it was Wilbon, Michael Wilbon, was saying that it could be likely that KD wants to stay in Golden State and rehab with that training staff, with the training staff that he knows. I don't know.
It's one because I don't know how bitter is he, man? That's a valid question.
Yeah.
You hearing stories about the GM crying, Steph crying, and KD is angry as he's receiving the news. So how angry is he? Is he holding a grudge against Golden State? Will that affect where he signs? Because if the trust is gone, like I said yesterday, the doctors told him that he can't further injure himself. So if that's true, and then he has an injury that's kind of like career threatening, do you want to go back to the place that threatened your career? Like, that's a legitimate question. Like,
yeah, I mean, we don't know. I think somebody had also said it. His mom was on like Good Morning America, and she kind of alluded to that there was a trust issue there with the training staff and so on and so forth. It's a lot of blame game, a lot of pointing fingers going around, man. But needless to say, he did undergo surgery, hospital special surgery here in New York by the Nets team doctor, J. Ellis.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
You know what I mean? Interesting.
Yeah. And you also heard that the opt-in was a last resort. You heard that?
That's what Woj said, yeah. Woj said opting in would be a last resort because that deal is worth $31 million. And I think basically the baseline max that he would come in here and get would be somewhere around like 35 or more than that. And obviously opting out and then getting the max with Golden State will be way more than that. Will be closer to 40.
Right.
So it'd be kind of like that. That opt-in would be like if he had no other deals, and that's like a last-minute scenario.
And I think he's going to have other deals, according to what's been reported.
Yeah.
Teams who are going to be able to hit. The teams are still not deterred, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see him returning to Golden State. I don't think he will.
I don't know, man.
Just my hunch.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think. I mean, somebody said, why would I think the Nets are still in play, though, man.
No, I think the Nets are in play.
I think this whole pairing Kyrie with D'Lo, I think that's smoke. I think somebody's just trying to be complimentary of D'Lo. I think they would get him out of there in a heartbeat and get Kyrie and KD, Kyrie, Jimmy Butler. If you get Kyrie, there's no reason to have D'Angelo Russell. It doesn't work.
For what? Yeah.
It wouldn't work.
Gone.
Yeah. I think D'Lo's out of there, man. I think they just try to bleed. Somebody in there just trying to leak some nice info to be complimentary of D'Lo. I think he's gone. I think he's out of there.
Yeah.
But that's just me. All right, let's go to 2 more calls and then let's get out of here. Hit that thumbs up on for your boys, man. We had Ian Begley on.
Yeah, man.
Had Ian Begley on today, and Ian's takeaways was basically like, yeah, they're still gonna go after KD. They're hoping for Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He says Kyrie to Brooklyn is a strong possibility.
Yeah. Seems like a done deal.
Yeah. On the AD trade, they were hoping to trade for AD in an attempt to keep him. But obviously, they run the risk of, if he does go to the Lakers, you run the risk of losing him. But I'm still glad we're not putting a package together for Anthony Davis. I'd rather not go that route. Yeah,
the news I heard was Knicks kind of did like a soft package where they called to see if they can involve somebody else in an AD trade, but it wasn't like, they didn't go all in.
Right.
They refused to live up to the demands of the Pelicans. So
yeah, it's too complex. I said at the beginning, it's too complex of a trade when you have other people like Boston who's going to throw Tatum out there. You have the Lakers who will throw the whole damn team out there. You know what I'm saying? And the number 4 pick.
Yeah,
better prospects than what we can give them, in my opinion.
The crazy part is that if KD was healthy, I think we would still. I feel like we might still be in, because the incentive would still be there. Because we have Kyrie over here, and he's pretty much guaranteeing he's going to be with the Nets. And depending on where Kemba goes, you still want KD to have a running mate. So I feel like the Knicks might have went harder to try to get AD here if KD was healthy.
Yeah, it's a fair point. That's a fair point, man. Shout out to Philip Ross in the chat. He says he's new. Shout out to Philip. Welcome to the number one show on YouTube for the fans, by the fans. This is the Offseason Central, where we break down the Knicks news and rumors of the offseason. Ian Begley was here earlier. If you haven't caught that conversation, you can rewind to the beginning. It's all the way at the beginning. Ian Begley was here, joined us, and gave some tidbits on the Knicks.
Word.
He thinks they're going to bring ISO back. He thinks there's a good chance they keep that team option on ISO Zoe.
I'd be surprised, man, if they can bring him back.
You think so?
Yeah, like the way free agency is going, is leading up to right now, I'd be very surprised if ISO is not back.
Right, if he's not back.
Not back.
Yeah, I agree. I think they bring ISO back the way things are going.
Yeah. ISO, Dots, and Durant, like I definitely expect those guys to be back.
Yeah. I definitely expect them to be back. Okay, 2 more calls and we get out of here. Let's go to North Carolina. Jay from North Carolina. He wants to talk about the offseason plans in general. Jay, how you feeling, bro?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Good.
Thanks for having me on, man. I listen to y'all show. Y'all guys are doing a great job, man.
Thanks,
man. Guys like y'all that need to be in them positions, like them such and such guys on them ESPN positions, because they talk against us.
Well, listen, man, we got our own thing, man. We got our own thing, and with so much support, we got over 600 people watching us here. We don't need the large platforms, man. We could build our own organic movement for the fans, by the fans. That's what we're doing right now.
Facts.
And y'all doing a great job, man. I just want to drop a couple of lows, man. A couple of guys, they doing some homework. Guys, some about back. Kevin Porter Jr., mad nice. I can see us maybe trading back with somebody like Atlanta. Those 2 slots, you know what I'm saying? That's just an option, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Maybe another trade with Washington, something with Bill, that's an option. But for real, we need to go ahead and let everybody know. The Kevin Durant thing, the AD thing, man, all that's been a wish. Our young dudes, but a couple guys out there that's doing that hard that I just see us sign.
We lost. My fault, Jay. You got to call back, man. We lost the connection wasn't too good. All right, Tyrone from the Bronx. He wants to talk about building around the youth. Tyrone, go ahead, bro.
Listen, man, we got to build around the youth. We've been talking all of this trash all year about building through the draft, and now as soon as our season ends, now everybody all of a sudden want to talk about making all these trades and all that. And quite frankly, I was with it. Up until KD's initial injury. I was all about it. And then I was kind of skeptical. Then everybody's talking about getting Anthony Davis and trying to gut the whole team and get rid of Mitchell Robinson. It's not happening. We don't need to do that. Mitchell Robinson is a diamond in the rough. We need to keep him. I personally believe Dennis Smith Jr. Is a freak of nature, and he could be next up under the coaching of Fizdale, right? But to sit here and say we want to gut the whole team to get these all-star players, it's ridiculous. It's literally going against the very formula of why we fell in love with the coaching staff and the GM in the first place, because they was talking that talk. And now everybody's getting away from what they was talking about in the beginning. So we need to keep what we got and just continue to build. If you look at every major team in NBA history, they all built on a slow grind. None of these teams just popped up out of nowhere. They teams built through the slow grind. So why are we trying to go against the grain and go against this different formula? All we got to do is just build slow. Anything is better than winning 17 games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything is better. And even if we was to win 15 games next year, as long as we are developing these players for the future, that's what I'm worried about. We've been losing for 18 years, guys. The sky's the limit from here. All you can do is look up. I don't want to sound like one of them crazy dudes that's a diehard Knicks fan, but let's be real. Like, where else can we go but up from here? Save the money, do what we can, pay the players that need to get paid, and don't even worry about the draft. Don't worry about KD. Damn sure don't worry about AD, and don't worry about Kyrie. Keep who we got. Don't even worry about Kawhi. Just build slowly with who we got, and you're going to find that these players are going to want to continue to play for this team, and they want to stay forever. If you look at Golden State, that's the formation that they built over there. We could do the same thing.
Okay. Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call, Tyro. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a gamble with the youth build. There's a gamble. There's always risks, right, Jay Ellis? I mean,
like every team didn't do that. Like every team didn't build through this. Like the Celtics didn't do it. The Miami didn't do it. Like there were teams who forged a team by trades, but there are teams who did build through the draft too. Yeah. There's more than one way to build a contender in a championship team.
Right. But see, the thing is it still comes back to the draft, even if you're trading, because there's no way the Celtics get Kevin Garnett, if Al Jefferson isn't a formidable draft prospect to trade.
That's true.
You get what I'm saying? They still had Paul Pierce, who was a superstar at the time.
That's true.
You talk Miami, D Wade was still homegrown, Yeah, that Miami thing was just different. Because number one, you had one of the greatest players of all time with LeBron James. That changes everything. First off, he's a game changer. Then you had another one of the greatest of all time in Dwayne Wade. Put that with another superstar with Chris Bosh, and they all took less money to play together. That's a once-in-a-lifetime situation where they all become free agents at the same time, and they decide to sacrifice. That's what we were trying to do. But who knows if KD, Kyrie, and whoever was going to sacrifice that.
Yeah, that's the thing. No one's sacrificing money now.
Jamal in the chats, you always need assets. Whether you're building with them or you're going to trade them, you always need those assets.
Well, this year is going to be telling for us because right now people are saying, "Oh, the Knicks don't have the assets. Knicks don't have the assets." But we're going to show and prove because we have a lot of first-round picks coming into the season. Plus, we have a lot of youth. And you know what? A year with the youth movement and a year under the development of David Fizdale and the training staff, we'll see what's going to happen with these assets now. We'll see if people will say that come next season if these guys are still here.
Absolutely, man. And with that, Jay Ellis, man, let's wrap up for tonight, man. Go ahead and wrap.
All right, man. You know what it is. Listen, if you're looking to write, definitely hit me up the Nick Time Podcast at gmail.com, or you can just hit me up on my Twitter or Instagram, man, if you want to write. Shout out to Dave, who made his writing debut the other day. Great job. So also, you know what? You can find my podcast or my show with my friends on youtube.com/NickTimeShow. It's called Nick Time Show, of course. You can also listen to that on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. We usually drop every Tuesday on SoundCloud and usually Wednesday on YouTube. It's a summer schedule though, so it's a little slower, but definitely check that show out and hope you enjoy. And yeah, that is it. And look out for some merch coming soon. Back to you, CP.
All right, appreciate you, JLs. Good show as usual, my dude. And thanks for everybody for joining us tonight, man. We had Ian Begley from SNY. Hit that thumbs up on your way out for Ian Begley. Come on, man. Come on, man. We had Ian Begley on the show, dropping some off-season tidbits. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Share these videos. Very important for you guys to share these videos on any social media platform that you're on. The more Knicks fans we get on the calls, the more we get in the chat, the better the show becomes. So this is what we need. This is the support that we need to build this thing up from a grassroots, organic level. So we hope you guys enjoyed that, man. Definitely hope you guys enjoyed it. Merch, KnicksFanTV merch. There's a link in the video description. Catch this show in audio format. iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever you guys use. It's on the KnicksFanTV. Very easy to find. If you're at work tomorrow, you can't watch video. YouTube draining your battery. Listen to it in the audio format, in the podcast format. Once again, share these videos on Twitter. #PostgameNYK. If you want to join the exclusive group chats on Twitter and on Discord, we will add you to those chats as long as you share these on Twitter with #PostgameNYK, man. And yeah, man, once again, shout out to everybody. Let's shout out Robert Parrish, always in here, never misses a show. Shout out to Robert. Louis Luck, appreciate you. Andrew, thanks again. Shout out to everybody that called in. Ari, always a good call. KnicksFanTV, Dave, great job as usual. JL, so you want to shout out, man?
Everybody in the chat. Cody, man.
Cody.
Dave 1. Wilson. There's a lot of Dave 1s in here.
Yeah, Cody hasn't called in a while, man. We got to hear from Cody, man.
Yeah, Cody hasn't called in a while. Yeah, call him Cody. You'll see. Coach Ice, Carter, Wilson, Yao Sung. Oh man, everybody.
Go Scrap.
Sosa, Sir One. Everybody on YouTube, man. Nell Jersey, Goonies, Hood Politics.
Yep. Optimus 2G, appreciate it, man. Jaden, appreciate it. Gary Singh. We're out of here, man. Be sure to check out the rest of the videos on the channel. We got a ton of content on KnicksFanTV, ton of podcasts on the Nick of Time show. Doesn't have to end here, man. Leave some comments on these videos. Leave some comments and continue the conversation. We definitely appreciate it. You guys have a good night, man. Peace.